Hmm. Hold on. Time has been flying by. All right, y'all. I'm gonna be talking about all this just alleged tea that's been coming out because this is wild. And I was just like, let me just make a video. Honestly, this is like my life right now because season 8 had dropped. And honestly, this was pretty shocking that I just was like, I can't skip this because what, Alex? Like, you just had no ambition when you were younger. Anyways, you just had no ambition when you were older. You literally had no drive to do anything. And then also Ben, I heard, came on the show for like career because his baseball career just didn't go well. Or I think like I don't know, but I'm about to go through Andre's TikTok. And now I kind of believe the woman. At first, I thought Andre was like doing this for clout, but I don't think she's doing this for clout. I think Ben really did this for like came on the show for fame. And I honestly don't blame him. I don't know. I'm kind of like I want to defend Ben. I don't know why. Like I really thought Sarah was tripping out, but let's just review this. Okay. I'm just trying to get set up. Hold on. Ben and who was the other? Ben and Alex. Yes. Ben and Alex. We literally are about to just cover all this alleged tea because what is going on during Black Women's History Month? As anybody says it, like just I'm about to like look for a photo. No, bro, that's not even a good photo. Yeah, we about to just use this photo. No, I'm about to do thumbnail maker, and we're just gonna get straight into it because, baby, the way how I'm trying to make me my thumbnail. I don't know. I just how do I shorten this? Okay. Just make me a cute little thumbnail. Then we're gonna get right into it. Cause I'm really like, all right. All right, save that. Okay, all right. We're gonna go ahead and go live because I'm sorry, but I need to make this video. I don't give a fuck about how late it is because, bro, like this just came surprising to me. And honestly, it's kind of insane how Ben came on the show for clout. Basically, Ben is pretending to want to be married. So basically, Ben is sorry, I'm getting my headphones. But Ben is pretending to be interested in marriage in order for him to go on Love is Blind, get famous, and make a bunch of money. Now, I honestly do not know when this was recorded, but I could see Ben wanting to go on the show for fame because when season eight was applying to go on this show, it was 2 years ago. When season eight was applying to go on this show, season four was just coming out, and also season one just came out, season two just came out, season three just came out. And so y'all already saw how viral those cast members went. Y'all already saw the amount of followers all those cast members had. You guys already saw just how famous they became and just the sponsorships, the brand deals that Lauren was getting. Like, Ben really was I feel like that Ben really was here to try to fake a marriage, to try to fake a relationship. And so for me, I'm just like, wow, like this to me is a little bit insane, just the way how Andre on TikTok just goes about it and how she's explaining all of this stuff, how just the way how she's explaining everything, just the way how she basically like tells this man off and like basically like talks trash about this guy, just the way how she's just spitting bars about this guy. And for me, it's just shocking. But we're not going to talk about Ben first because I'm honestly trying to really bail Ben out. Like, I really was rooting for Ben and Sarah. But honestly, now I'm kind of convinced that, like, their relationship was extremely fake. You cannot convince me that they had a genuine relationship. I thought that they had a real relationship, but apparently not. And I'm just like, how, Sway? How? But, anyways, I'm going to be going on Storytime with Ricky's page, and we are going to be looking at the allegations that Alex has because I feel like that Alex really needs to just really get exposed because after all that lying you did, you said that you were bullied in high school. Come to find out that you were actually popular in high school and you kind of did not look attractive in high school. You did not, you didn't have a fro in high school, actually. You had no fro in high school, or you had no fro at all. And just for you to lie. And I feel like that every single guy on this screen now really came on the show for fame. But, anyways, we're going to be going on Storytime with Ricky's page, and we're going to be looking at all the tea and just what she has to offer and just all the tea that she exposed. I'm also going to be going through her stories of like what she posted. So, yeah, like be out on the lookout. I really just don't want to sign in. I'm gonna just continue as guest. But anyways, hold up. Add to stay. Okay. Yeah, nah, like all these men were not here on the right reason. Also, Devin. A lot of things are sketchy about Devin. Devin and Virginia are just a very sketchy couple to me. I'm not really buying Devin and Virginia at all. I'm just not really buying them as a couple at all. Anyways, let's go and look at Storytime with Cookies page. But how do you share screen? How do you share a damn screen? How do you share a screen? Like, how do you share screen? That's what I'm trying to find out. How do you share screen? Also, sorry if my mic was low. Yes, okay. All right, guys, we are going to go on Storytime with Ricky's page and let's go see what tea she had to offer us. So I allegedly saw all this tea last night and I was just like, this is not really alleged to me. This is not really important to me. Simply because of the fact that it's just like, I mean, what is there to really show? Like, what is there to really actually like kind of like he did all this stuff from 2017 to 2019. There's also alleged stuff about this from 2015 about him, and I was just like, what is there really to show? But anyway, we're gonna just go through the Alex allegations. Or I guess not, because I just can't even find. Or I think it's on Instagram. Did they get it taken down? Oh, she probably got it taken down. Let me go on her Instagram page. Nah, this is not the one. Story. All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be showing all the alleged tea, just all of like what she's saying. Yeah, yeah. Everything that she's saying, just okay. Yeah. All right, let's listen to this.
Part two of the allegations that
Oh
are
wait,
going.
this is part two.
A lot of you guys have been tagging me in the allegations being made about Alex. And honestly, I did not want to touch the story until I talked to the women myself. So, yes, I personally talked to 6 of the women who came forward and made allegations about Alex. They were able to provide some level of receipts. The events happened over a decade ago. So, they were able to gather what they could. We're going to go over it all here today. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot to go over, but trust me, you're going to want to watch this video. So starting from the beginning, if you have no idea what's going on, Alex from Love is Blind season 8 was posted in the Are We Dating the Same Guy Minneapolis group. He was posted back in June. So this is before the season cast was announced. This is before he was on the season 7 reunion. It is before anybody knew who he was. When he was posted in this group, a lot of anonymous users came forward with some very serious allegations against Alex. Pause to read, but it's probably nothing you haven't seen already up until this point. Some of the women actually located me and I was able to locate the rest. Get a little bit more context behind these allegations. Here's what I found. So here we go. I knew Alex October 2015, April 2016. I was one of the girls who would party with him. I was 17. There were other high schooler guys and girls, all 15 to 17. I remember Alex, we called him Brownie. Alex gave us free booze and I believe weed whenever we went over. I'm not even kidding. The walls would be lined with alcohol. I knew he would be alone with minors, girls at these parties in the basement. I've been doing some digging and I found the house that he was renting. So I did ask 2 of the women if they were able to locate where these parties took place. It's worth mentioning that 2 of the women were able to look at pictures that they took from this home. And an iPhone geotags the location or tells where a photo was taken. And 2 separate women were able to identify the same house. This is one woman, as you can see, it's on 10th by St. Bonaventure Church, which you can see in the corner there. This is an entirely different victim, St. Bonaventure Church and 10th Street. It's worth mentioning that one of the geotag photos that I just showed you was timestamped December 12th, 2015, making Alex at the time 20 years old. One of the victims was able to provide a photo from these parties. Everybody's face has been blocked out, obviously, because they are minors, but you can see that there is tons of alcohol. I do have the address of this home, which is publicly listed as one of Alex's previous addresses. I did block out the address, but as you can see, this location is the same location that is on 10th Avenue that the victim's photos were pinging from. And from the pictures provided, you can see that this is the same home, same living room. Previous addresses are public record, so it is public record that this address is listed as a previous address for Alex. Before you say, how do we know that it's the same Alex Brown? The address listed right beneath it is also a previous address of Alex that I have a lease agreement for. Just so we know that we're talking about the same Alex here, and that address does actually link back to the Alex Brown in question. Here is a contract for another previous address of Alex. Some of the victims were able to provide multiple pictures from this home and these parties where you can clearly see a lot of alcohol and teenagers. This is just for context, again, for context. Again, for context. Now it is unclear what transpired at these parties or in the basement of these parties, but what is clear is that parties were taking place at a location that Alex is linked to, and alcohol was provided to minors. It is also worth mentioning that no criminal charges have been filed against Alex, and there are no police reports or incident reports on file for Alex. I did check. Now, here's where things take a turn. You guys know on the show how Alex mentioned that he had a girlfriend for 2 years and she cheated on him the whole time and gave this whole sob story to garner sympathy. Well, I spoke to this ex-girlfriend and she gave me a little bit more details on their relationship. Now, she did provide photos of the two of them together, which I am not going to show here. She did provide proof that her and Alex were actually in a relationship. And this is what she shared with me. She said that he was obsessed with making her look younger. He asked her to wear her hair a certain way, asked her to get braces, and he requested that she dress younger. She said that one day they were out on a date. She was wearing a dress in wedges and they saw a young girl. She said to her knowledge, she looked about 13 to 14 years old, who was wearing skinny jeans, Converse, and a crop top. And he said, you should dress more like that. She also said that when together, he liked watching young porn. Told her that you can just type young after any search watching. They will give you searches of people who look really young. She said that when they were together, that Alex warned her that there might be young girls coming forward accusing him of certain things and to ignore them because they are all young girls who were obsessed with him. She did go on to say that she was a TA in college and she would often read some of Alex's essays and just give her feedback on them. And she said that for his environmental ethics class at Normandale College, he had an essay on utilitarianism and how stealing someone's food and replacing it before they notice is the same as SAing someone in their sleep and them having no idea that they were SA'd. For context, utilitarianism is a theory that states that the best action is one that produces the most good for the most people. I guess the point of the paper was to take a small example and apply it to an extreme and see if the result still applies when applied to an extreme. Now, while I don't have access to the paper itself, I do have a text thread conversation where she raises her concerns about this paper. Okay, so let's get into these text messages. Before anybody says, how do we know that this is Alex? I asked for the phone number, and this number is publicly linked to the Alex Brown. As you can see here, he says, do you want to read my essay? I used the grape during sleep argument might get an F. She says, oh my God, let me read it. Also be careful because your teacher might report it. He says the guideline for the essay is to come up with an actual situation in my life that I'm not sure was either morally right or wrong and to analyze it from the lens of a utilitarian. It's just a first draft. She says, very interesting. If utilitarianism benefits everyone, how was the grape beneficial to the girl? He sends a face and says, did you read it? She says, yes, I'm talking about the last sentence in your conclusion. He says it's irrelevant because there was no effect for the girl. Just like me throwing my trash in the garbage, no effect for everyone else. She goes on to say, sure, but according to your conclusion, it benefits everyone. He goes on to say it doesn't have to benefit everyone. I never said that. She says, got ya. If there is an effect on a person from your action, it should be positive. If there is no effect, then it doesn't matter because it's irrelevant. Again, she's just raising concerns on this paper in general. Taking advantage of someone in that context then has a lot of meaning and it just leaves me a little confused. He says, how? She says, taking advantage of a coward, I believe that's supposed to say coworker, by taking their food versus taking advantage of a girl by putting your inside of her while she's unconscious. Both are two different extremes. So again, they're going back and forth about the topic of this paper. You can pause to read if you want to read the rest. So this is all Alex. He's telling her that because she doesn't agree with the paper that he's worried that she might have autism, since there is no negative outcome for the victim. Therefore, so I take the same theory and apply it to a very serious issue, SA. So again, a very concerning conversation. I'm not saying this proves anything. I'm not making any implications here. I'm just showing you an alarming conversation that raised some eyebrows in her mind as well. Mixed with all of the other allegations, it definitely is concerning. Got a 79 out of 80 on the paper. In this text thread, the victim confided in him that she had been SA'd at 9 years old. He says, "Do you think it negatively impacted your life?" She says, "Not as much as it could have. I repressed the memory so much that sometimes I forget it ever happened, actually. It's so disgusting and horrible." He says that guy is crazy to do that shit at a public pool. What a weird thing. Not do it at all in a public pool. The most concerning part is he says, "Were you asking for it?" I'm kidding. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect this video to get this long. There's more. Go to part 2. So a lot of you guys have been tagging me in the allegations being.
All right, so basically, it's a lot going on, and for me, when I first saw this, I was just like, okay, it's not of a big of a deal, but it's giving that this guy basically like was just a bad kid in his childhood, like he was just a bad kid in his early 20s. I wonder how old is this guy? I don't know how old this guy is, but he was a bad like this happened what from 2015 to 2019. So I have the impression that he has changed because he was kind of nice. Like, this did not surprise me at all. I didn't really care about this because I was just like, this guy, he seemed very nice. He seemed, I mean, no, actually, he was very dismissive towards Madison. I'm not gonna lie. He was very dismissive towards Madison, but I think also Madison was weaponizing her trauma in the pods, which I'm gonna get to Madison sometime, someday. But anyways, not today. But yeah, this didn't shock me because this was from what, 2015 to 2019? I don't really care about that. Like this happened, 2019 was what, 6 years ago? 2019 was 6 years ago. I don't really care about that. It's nothing recent. If it was something recent, if it was something he did before the show, okay, I mean, fine. It's not like he had a whole girlfriend. It's not like he did a bend where he was faking to be on the show for marriage. So for me, it's just like, I don't think we have to really call him out. And we all have bad lives, or we all have a lot of struggles. We all have our flaws before going on. Like people, if you think about all these reality stars, they all have had their flaws before going on a dating show. They've all had their flaws. So for me, this just does not really phase me. I'm not really shocked. I'm just like, I mean, okay. So, I mean, yeah, he had minors at the age of 20, like he had minors in his 20s with alcohol. I mean, that was pretty bad. Yeah, no, he shouldn't do that. But I feel like that maybe he has changed. I'm kind of shocked that he hasn't gone to jail for this at all, though. But I feel like that this gave him a chance to kind of just like change. And so, but then when I saw part two kind of shocked me because for me, I was just like, for me, I'm just like, how could I go from like not being shocked about Alex's scandals to being shocked about Alex's scandals. But when I saw part one of like what she was talking about when it came to Alex, it did not faze me at all. I'm just like, this guy had to have changed. Like a lot of people do bad things. They have to have changed. Now, Alex is a bit of a narcissist, I will say that, but I feel like that he has changed over the course of 6 years. So I don't think this was really shocking news to me. Also, this season is pretty dry, so this wasn't really like shocking tea to me when it came to this, just him with the alcohol, the text messages. I mean, the assignment that he got a 79 out of 80 on, that doesn't really shock me at all. I'm like, I'm not phased by it at all. I'm just really not phased. I'm really not phased at all because I mean, it is what it is. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about that? I mean, he didn't get caught. Like, I don't think he has any. lawsuits against him or whatsoever. He didn't get caught. He didn't have any lawsuits. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Like in 2015, I don't know, like I forget, there was a lot of stuff about him in 2015. Who was going to go call him out for something that he did 10 years ago? I mean, people have all their struggles. I mean, people have cheated in the past. Like, come on now. And then 2017, 2019, I mean, 6 years ago, this was so far-fetched. This was like long ago. This was so far long ago. I mean, you do not know how long ago this could have been, but this was just long ago. This was so far long ago. I mean, I don't think anybody could care. I mean, I couldn't care less about it. I could just care less. I really could just care less. Like, that didn't really shock me. I'm just like, and he didn't even make it past the pods too. Like, he didn't even make it past the pods, and I don't even know if he's coming back. I don't even know if this guy comes to the reunion. I think Alex just might stay quiet. I think he might just stay quiet. He's also still not attractive too. Like, let's get that too. Like, let's get that part as well. So for me, like, none of this shocks me. I mean, I think he was just on the show for like a little bit of airtime. And that was that. Anyways, let's go to part two.
Okay, guys, so here is part two of the allegations that are going around about Alex right now. If you missed part one, I encourage you to go back and watch it, as we did unpack a lot of things there. We covered the alleged house parties that have been circulating online, accompanied by receipts, and we uncovered some text messages that an alleged ex of Alex found concerning, and she shared and addressed that concern. She also shared with me that Alex seemingly asked her to role play as if they were in middle school. As you can see from the text, he says, "Pretend we are in middle school and I just got your number from your friend and I have a huge crush on you and we are finally texting." She says, "Oh my God, okay, cute." And he starts with the role play. Now, she did say that her going along with this is a reflection of her trauma bond to Alex, and she often felt like if she didn't go along with these things that he would get upset with her.
Sorry, I'm
She
twitching.
says that she did tell Alex that she cheated on him so that he would leave her. She said she does think that she suffered from some form of Stockholm syndrome and had on rose-colored glasses during her relationship with Alex, and she is still processing and working through what went down during her relationship with Alex in therapy. Another young woman reached out to me that met Alex on Hinge in 2018. She did provide a snapshot of their initial hearing on Hinge to confirm that she met him. She does tell me that Alex confided in her about something disturbing, something that he described as a mental illness that he cannot control. Now, while there's nothing to show that he confided in her about anything specific, what I do
Y'all see when she says a mental illness that he cannot control? Alex should have went to therapy before going on Love is Blind. This guy had a mental disorder. This guy had a mental disability. Why the hell are you on Love is Blind? Now, to me, that is just very diabolical. And also, I say the same thing for Madison. Madison should have went to therapy before going on Love is Blind. And then once she was in therapy and she learned to love herself, I just don't even think all these people on this show are actually career driven. Like, I think everybody on this season is on the show for clout. They wanted that big branded, which they may still get because the next episode seemed very dramatic with Virginia and Devin. I'm about to be shocked. But anyways, yeah, no, everyone's on the show for clout because all y'all are just faking it. Like, that's why the season's so boring, because you guys are too aware of what to do. Y'all are too aware of what to say. And honestly, I don't even blame y'all, but just keep it on the low. I don't really blame y'all because honestly, I mean, like, I can't blame y'all. I can't blame y'all at all. I mean, I'm gonna be actually happy for some of y'all if y'all actually go viral. But when she says this guy had a mental disability that he cannot control, that means that he needs to be left alone. He cannot be with other castmates on Love is Blind. He cannot be taking up Madison's trauma. He just can't do it. Like, he cannot be taking up Madison's trauma. He cannot be allowing Madison to trauma dump on him when he hasn't even focused on himself. Mind you, he had a lot of trauma, and I don't think Madison let him kind of express a lot to her, vice versa. I think that Madison was trauma dumping on Alex, and Alex wasn't able to fully trauma dump. No, he wasn't fully able to be vulnerable with Madison. So now I'm starting to see the type of person that Madison really is, and actually, she really was a manipulator then. Like, that's what I'm trying to like. That's what I'm kind of seeing her for.
do have is a text thread between the two of them where she expresses to him how what he confided in her about was triggering for her. And it was triggering for her because she was SA'd at a young age. And she shares that she's experienced a lot of guilt over the years for not expressing this or telling somebody about what he told her sooner. I am going to share those texts with you now. Trigger warning to anyone who may be sensitive to this information. Again, this phone number has been confirmed and linked to a known phone number of Alex. This is the phone number, and this is the phone number linking it to Alex. So for context, again, Alex confided in her about something disturbing, something that he described as a mental illness. She often was triggered by this because she was SA'd at a young age. She didn't know that what Alex confided in her would be so triggering for her. So she oftentimes hit him up and let him know how it was triggering for her. That is what we're reading here. Okay, so we can see here, you cannot even conceive of why what you told me could be triggering is beyond me. It's not BS because it's literally what actual trauma looks like, especially when it's been deeply repressed. I'm sorry, you're right. You couldn't have known. I just didn't know either. And you were a constant reminder. And when I tried to step away from that, you guilted me. You never even gave me time to process it before. You just assumed it was okay. But God, that you could possibly believe that this could in no way possibly trigger someone who was raped at that exact same effing age isn't effing rocket science, Alex. I'm sorry, but you don't get to invalidate this. Again, it's very vague. It's not specific to what they're referring to, but from the context of this text, you can tell that she is saying something you told me triggered me. He goes on to say, I'm sorry, but I have almost lost all respect for you. In no way did I do anything bad. I have always done things to be helpful and make people happy. She says, I'm not blaming you. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. That's fine. He says, I told you a struggle that I'm dealing with deep down. So he does admit that he told her a struggle that he's dealing with deep down. Again, very vague. She goes on to say, but that was an effing trigger. He says, don't make that about yourself. And she says, and you don't get to determine that. He says, I do not care. That's not the point. She goes on to say, you can't even get the opinion from someone else on who's right here because no one else knows. Why do you think that is? He goes on to say, it absolutely should not be a trigger. If I told you that I graped someone, then maybe it could be a trigger. Or if I graped someone in front of you, I have and never will grape anyone. I told you about an idea that has nothing to do with you. You should be supporting me instead of blaming and shaming me. Shame on you for doing what you are doing. She says, I just got told by another person that it is a trigger. Google it, Alex. Jesus Christ, I'm done. Goodbye. You're right. This isn't worth it. Goodbye, Alex. And then you can see what he says here. Here is another text exchange. I don't know how it fits into the thread, but you can go ahead and read it. Clearly, this woman was very triggered about something that Alex confided in her in a secret. I described it as something disturbing, something that Alex himself described as a mental illness. She was specific with me about what he confided in her, but I am not going to say it here since there is no proof of it. So I will let you, come to your own conclusions about what he confided in her in about. So that is some more text for context. He also said that Alex confided in her that he believes that he is a sociopath. And again, these women tried their best to provide any receipts and evidence that they had that this man said these things to them. So here's a text thread. If I had done something wrong to you, I would have apologized, as I have no problem apologizing when I am objectively wrong. You want somebody who accepts your strong emotions and who can comfort and accept you regardless, but I am not that person. So it goes on to say, I do not care in the slightest bit if your friends think that I am a sociopath because I understand the underlying fallacies that you have enforced that explain those opinions. My life is lived for the achievement of personal happiness, and so whatever I am, I am. And also, there is nothing inherently wrong with being a sociopath, and it can actually very easily be seen as a major advantage in today's society, as most successful/famous people are sociopaths. Again, these texts are confirmed to be coming from Alex. Phone number, proof that it's Alex. Again, I'm not here to make any implication or do what you want with the information. I always say that when there is smoke, there is fire, and that there is no way that multiple women came forward with very similar stories about a guy that wasn't even announced on the cast yet, and that there was no truth to it. So hopefully these receipts that I have provided, and the text exchanges that you read today, you're able to form your own opinion on what you believe was going on. Again, I would like to state that no formal complaints or incident reports were found on Alex. I was not able to obtain any, was not able to find any criminal filings against him. Now, while I wasn't able to find any formal complaints or filings, I do believe that there might be something out there because as you can see here, Alex is talking about just talking to one of the best defense attorneys in Minnesota. And he's seemingly talking about, he said, it could be up to 3 weeks before they charge me and the police could just show up at my door at any minute. So I feel like there might be something out there. I just wasn't able to find it. This would also mean that he would be able to clear a background check. There's also this text thread where he was freaking out.
I think this guy is genuinely autistic. Like, I just think that I think Alex just has a mental disorder. And it was just never like, he just never fixed it. I think this guy is either autistic sped. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if he was in special ed classes in high school. Like this guy gives autism. He gives autism. I'm sorry, he gives crazy. He gives off the rims. Like, yeah, this guy is really crazy. I think he's just crazy. I think so far I'm just seeing he's just crazy. He got on the show. He didn't make it past far the show. So I mean, see if he was like past the pods and he was with us and he was partnered up and he was with Madison past the pods and they went to Mexico and now like they're home and if he was in a couple if he was in a relationship on the show, okay, then that would be a bigger deal. That would be a bigger deal. But I'd say that for me right now nothing's really shocking me. I just think that he was just crazy and he got on Love is Blind and he was bad to Madison. Like it wasn't really that shocking, but I was just like, wow, like to just know this much about him, that just shows how like the casting department is really bad. And also, Chelsea was literally arguing with Jessie Woo, and now, I don't think Chelsea is doing her job well. Chelsea from season 4, she's supposed to be working for this season, and I think she's not doing well because from what I hear, only one couple is getting married. And I thought Chelsea, like you came from a season where where three people got married, including you. So wouldn't you want to like make season 8 another season 4 and have another Brett and Tiffany? Like wouldn't you want to make Devin and Virginia maybe the next Brett and Tiffany? And wouldn't you maybe want to like be like the therapist on Married at First Sight besides Tia? But for me, I'm just like, Chelsea, like, this is all you. And you were basically like going back and forth with Jessie Woo about how like, oh, like don't something. I forget what happened last year, but you were going back and forth with Jessie Woo. Now look at your casting department. Now look at how badly you cast these people because Alex is obviously a mentally unstable guy that you probably casted from the show and that you probably decided to and I think this was probably Chelsea's idea to give us 6 boring pod episodes. I think it was also her idea to like show us I don't know, but I feel like that this is all Chelsea's fault. Like when I say casting department, I mean it's all of Chelsea's fault from season 4. Like this is all Chelsea's fault from season 4. Anyways, let's move on.
About his Facebook account being disabled. And you can see here that he says, now I'm going to be sitting in bed shaking all night because I'm worried that blank, which was another ex-girlfriend that I reached out to, but she did not respond. So I'm guessing she didn't want to talk, called the police and they are going to be looking through my Facebook and are going to come to my house again. So something has happened. It's not clear what, but I wasn't able to.
I think this guy has been in trouble. This guy has, I'm just like, how did this guy get casted? And I get it, like, there's only so much you could do when it comes to doing background checks on these people. But y'all didn't see how the way Alex looked. Like, you probably think, like, you know what, this is probably not the guy that we should take. Like, he's not special. He doesn't seem put together. Like, y'all be picking the most unput together people for this cast. And so I'm like, y'all are doing this on purpose. Y'all, including Chelsea, are doing this in purpose so that y'all could get y'all views up, to get the ratings up. Just like how Dave is gaslighting Lauren to get the views shows up and to create a storyline for himself.
Find anything. And again, I don't know what this is in reference to exactly, but some type of legal trouble with the law. If someone
So basically, this guy has been in trouble before. I'm not surprised, but I'm also kind of shocked.
finds something, send it my way. I'm just sharing with you guys what I discovered. Something that's much less important is that Alex did say on Love is Blind that he was
This shocked me
wildly
now.
unpopular, wore a purple sweater to school.
Yeah, so basically, you guys know how in the Pods episode, Alex was opening up to how he was just like not like unpopular. He had a fro and he ate lunch in the bathroom. That was all made up. I think right now, I think Alex is watching this and he feels guilty for the lie he made about this. He said how he had an afro. I don't see any afro right here. I don't see him wearing an afro. Like I don't see him with the afro. I don't see him with the afro. Like he's and wait, hold on. Let me just hear this.
School every day, was bullied, had an afro. In high school, girls laughed at him. He ate his lunch in the bathroom, and pictures of him circulated from high school, and none of those things appear to be true. He was actually wildly popular. He actually had a music video, which we posted on the Reality Receipts podcast page, where he seems to be very, very popular. I just want to thank all of the women who I spoke with for coming.
So basically, this guy was actually popular. So basically, Alex was popular and he was well known. He did not have a fro, actually. He also had a music video, which I'll talk to you on that. I could actually show you guys. This guy had a music video. This is a lot. This just says a lot. Like, this all says a lot about this guy. This guy's a liar. This guy is creepy. This guy is really creepy. This guy is extremely just creepy, extremely, I don't know, just how do you have the confidence to go on a show? I don't know, but this is wild. Like so basically Alex was actually popular. I don't think he ate lunch in the bathroom stalls. He did not wear an afro, guys. That was all a lie. And there's also a music video which I'm gonna actually play for y'all.
In the allegation. Okay.
This is a music video, y'all. This is a music video right This is him in a music video, y'all. Y'all can listen. Yeah. So it seems as though this guy was just off the rims. I'm honestly quite shocked. I'm honestly like, I'm honestly quite shocked because I just never knew there would be an allegation like this. But I mean, what were we expecting? Like, this stuff happens all the time. Anyways, let's go move on to Andre's TikTok. Hold on, y'all. That's not something. Andre, hope you find your daddy. Is that her? That's her. That's her TikTok name. So basically, Ben has been found. Oh, hope you find your dad. Someone copied her. Oh, y'all, this woman has almost 500K followers. I don't know how she accomplished that, but all right, we are going to watch this. All right, let's go to Andre's story times. Cause I actually no wait, it's on Jesse Wu's page. She made this TikTok like last, I believe it was last March, and this girl goes viral, y'all. If y'all look at her page, now TikTok has saved her life, girly, but I wonder if Andre's doing all this for her TikTok. This girl is very talented, by the way, but a little bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Or is it? Hold on. Let me go. I'm just confusion. Like I'm in confusion because Ben is really like Ben is really now sketchy. Like now I'm like questioning Ben. Nah, yeah, I'm trying to find the TikTok. I don't think I could find it. This was this was made in March of last year. Mm-mm. All right, I'm done with this. All right. All right. I'm gonna just share this. All right. About to just I'm gonna go on Jessie Woo's and look at her video because I think she has the video. She has the videos up. Look right here. Okay.
So I definitely wanted to bring that back up so that you guys know what is happening. And last on the docket is Mr. MAGA. Okay, so you have Susan B. Anthony and Mr. MAGA. Remember, this man said he never voted. Susan B. Anthony was annoyed by that. Yet when he proposed to her, she accepted. Remember, also, she asked him about BLM issues. And this man says, I choose to stay out of it. Despite all that, he proposed to her,
Racist.
she accepted, okay? Which is why I'm calling her Susan B. Anthony. Because one thing about white women, social issues or being tied to white male privilege, which one do you think they're going to go with? Take a guess. Take a wild guess. Okay? So while she was in the pods standing on business about BLM, George Floyd, and Mr. MAGA continuously told her, yeah, I ain't never voted, I don't really care. It doesn't affect me because he's white. That is the meaning of white privilege, right? Is you ain't even got to vote. Because no matter how the vote turns out, you gonna be good. Hey, whoa. Because you're a white man. So it don't matter. It don't matter. You're still going to be good. And she still accepted his proposal. Because at the end of the day, what's better than standing up for social justices and equal rights for Black people? You know what's better than that? Being married to MAGA. Being married to MAGA, Susan B. Anthony. Okay, the white folks want you to believe that Susan B. Anthony was out here fighting for women's rights during Black women's rights, Black Women's Month, during Black History, Black Women's Month.
My stomach.
I have to dub you Susan B. Anthony, okay? Point blank, period. Now, with that being said, before the season even aired, Mr. MAGA, Ben, was already being talked about in these TikTok streets. Let's take a listen.
So someone just leaked to me some of the photos of the cast of the new season of Love is Blind that they're filming here in Minneapolis. And like I knew when I heard that they were filming here, in my stomach that I would recognize some of the names.
This girl looks like that she's just been in a crime scene. Like, do you guys see how miserable she is? But when I was on Storytime with Ricky's page, she was saying like this girl only had 2 dates with Ben. So I don't know if Jesse Wu knows that as well. But Storytime with Ricky was saying how like Andre only went on 2 dates with Ben. So if he only went on 2 dates with Ben, then you didn't I don't think you had a reason to cry about this while Sarah and Ben were filming this. But although Andre, I could say that you are right when it comes to all the allegations about him because yes, Ben was also leaving YouTube business cards for people after he spent the night with women. Yes, Ben was leaving YouTube business cards out to people. I don't know if I could find the video for that, but allegedly, yeah, he has been like leaving out business cards for people to just like use for his business channel. So yes, Andre, you are right when it comes to Ben wanting to come on the show for fame, Ben going out of luck for his baseball career, Ben also trying to like become rich and famous off of his parents' dime. Like you are totally right for that. So let's go and watch.
On that list, and I would have some information on those boys because you know what, Minneapolis is a big city small town sort of vibe where everyone knows each other, and the dating pool here is very, very small. So if you've messed up, someone's going to know about it. And I'm not sure how much I can say about it, but I am going to say that I'm just exhausted and tired of society rewarding shitty men who treat women terribly and manipulate and lie all the time.
Yes.
They are horrible people, and they will do anything to get what they want and to get attention. And I get that that is like the whole point of reality television, and that's the reason that they're on that show, right? To make good entertainment. But maybe we can just not reward people who are like that, who have harmed people in their past. And I know this is a vast overreaction, and unfortunately, probably for legal reasons, I shouldn't say exactly who it is. But I will not be watching the Minneapolis season because that shit just makes me sick to my stomach to see someone who's willing to like lie to people about wanting to get married just to be on television and get exposure and be a heartthrob. I don't know. I'll probably take this down by tomorrow. This feels stupid coming forward like this. Like, this is what reality television is supposed to be, right? Horrible people.
All right. And then she had another video.
She posted this March the 2nd, 2024. Okay, I want y'all to see the date. March 2nd, 2024. Okay, and she started going viral right as the season was about to premiere. So she really had like nothing to gain from this. Literally, I think this is another post that
She didn't have anything to gain because again, she only went on 2 dates with the guy, so she wasn't really hurt by this guy. She could have just been quiet about Ben, though. I honestly, in this situation, I have to defend Ben because you only went on 2 dates with this guy, so it wasn't really your business to like kind of bash him out. And I think that if she would have kept her mouth shut about this guy, I don't think Ben would have all the allegations being called out about him this season. And I think that Sarah would have trusted him and actually would have married him, but she might have fell in a bad trap and ended up divorcing Ben. So I think actually Andre did save Sarah, like some people will say, because I think Andre just had intuition that, oh, this guy's on Love is Blind. He's a bad guy. I already know a lot about him. But anyways, let's go keep on going.
she posted too.
So here's an update on the boy I know who's currently filming the next season of Love is Blind here in Minneapolis, who shouldn't be on the show. One, because he's not on it for the right reasons, and two, because he's just a terrible person. For so many years, I just saw him and his friends treating women like they were just entirely disposable objects, like just like garbage. And they all clearly thought it was hilarious because even one night when they were all drinking, like they posted a photo up on their story saying like, oh, if so-and-so has ever like done whatever to you, like swipe up and respond, as if like it was just hilarious how many women could respond about all like the horrible things this man has done to them in this city. And I've just tried to be amicable with all of them to avoid drama, but at this point, seeing that like he might be out there like on a national scale harming other people, I've had enough of it. The
So because I wanted to be sure that was him in the photo, I blocked him on everywhere except for one specific platform. And what do you know? After I upload that video, I get a little ding, he's blocked me. So that confirms that it was him in the photo. The photos that were shared in that one women's Facebook group that people may or may not know about. So one, I don't really want to get into a whole big legal thing about this. So for legal reasons, this is all just my opinion, right? But also, I just want everyone to be on alert because two, I believe that once this show airs, or maybe like when more photos come out about this, the girlies will be able to sniff out who the man we shouldn't trust is here. The one who used to have a YouTube channel and all sorts of videos and a very different looking Instagram that all got wiped and cleaned up conveniently before he applied to go on this show. One who other girls have already said, is he the one that got posted in that Facebook group? Because if so, the stories. So, and two, unless other girls also decide to like come forward with stories, maybe it was just me. You know, maybe he just decided to treat me like human garbage. I was very young. I was new to the college campus. He was a whole lot older, and that really shaped like the way I viewed men and dating going forward in a very formative experience. I don't want to get too deep into the details because that stuff doesn't matter, but I did try and like talk to him vaguely about it afterwards. And he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like none of this stuff ever happened. And I was just like, you really have no idea what that did to me. Like he was really one of the first boys to open up my eyes and make me realize, oh, you actually shouldn't always believe boys when they tell you things. Because sometimes they will say and do absolutely anything to manipulate people. And out of respect, I'm not going to share direct DMs and like intimate details of his life because I also shared intimate details of my life with him that I would really not love to see blasted publicly. I don't want to turn this into a whole big war thing. I just want to alert the girlies to be on alert, and that's it for me.
So when she posted this, a lot of the Minneapolis girls were already in her comments saying Ben, Ben, Ben. So even if you look up her video on TikTok, if you put Ben Love is Blind and her name, it comes up because so many people were saying Ben, Ben, Ben. Other girls who had had horrible experiences with this man were in her comment section saying this. So then she did this final video.
Some of them, and I've heard horrible stories about other ones. But I also already know how some of the storylines end, so let's talk about it today. Because Netflix didn't consider that if you pick some of the most narcissistic men who will do anything for fame, that the second they walk off that set, regardless of if you made them sign an NDA or not, they're going to head straight back to the bars and start bragging about everything that happened behind the scenes. But for starters, shame on you, Netflix. I was not planning on talking about any of this because I was hoping that after all of those women, including myself, came forward about that horrific man, you would have the sense to write him off of the show. But apparently instead you just privated all of his social accounts, wiped them all clean again, and then relaunched them as if we all wouldn't notice. If you're not already familiar, I'll tag it, but I made a video talking about this man when all this information leaked last year. And it sounds like he went on to treat this woman on the show exactly as we all would have expected. And I'm even more disappointed to see that it looks like Netflix is well aware that they're exposing these women to horrific men. But anyways, I met this man when I was decently young and brand new to campus here at the University of Minnesota. And he is one of the first men who taught me not to trust men when they tell you who they are. But that's a story for another day. I saw him go around for years treating women on that campus like they were objects and completely disposable, even to the point where one night I remember his friend group posted a joke about it up on their stories. So they knew, and I responded, joking along, but also like trying to call them out, and they never got it because they think it's funny to treat women this way. But this man was really well known on campus specifically for that, but also he was like the MVP of the baseball team. We all thought he was going to get drafted, and he was going to do anything for fame, in my opinion. He had a YouTube channel. He was constantly going around telling people to follow his IG. This man loved.
So basically, he was like telling people to follow his IG. Now, with telling people to follow your IG, I mean, anyone does that. I think she's over exaggerating. A lot of people do that. A lot of people walk around tell people to follow their Instagram. Like, you will have a lot of people walk around and ask to get a follow. Like, oh, yo, can you follow me? He probably was asking his friends to follow him on Instagram. A lot of people will do that. Such and such, follow my Instagram. Like, I think she's over exaggerating that part. Also, his YouTube channel. A lot of people will also tell other people, like, hey, look, follow my YouTube channel. When you're like in high school, you have a YouTube channel. Y'all will beg people, follow my channel, support my channel, watch my YouTube videos. Watch, I mean, I would like ask you, like, hey, look, I mean, I don't do that, but I mean, if I really did, was really like genuinely serious about actually like going viral in like a short matter of time, I would tell people like, hey, look, follow my YouTube channel. But the fact that this man put out YouTube business cards, the fact that this man gave out business cards for people to literally see is diabolical. Like the fact that you have YouTube business cards like now you're crazy. Like just to have business cards to me is just a lot. Like for you to just have just to give people your like, hey, like take my business. Like for me, that is wild. Just for you giving out your business card to people, giving out your business to people. Just I don't like for me, like why like I would not go to the extreme of giving somebody a YouTube, like for example, me, I have a YouTube channel. However, I'm not gonna go out in the world and give people my YouTube business card so they can follow me. Like, what's the point? They'll come to me if they like my content. They will come to my channel if they like to see how I post. So I think Ben is diabolical on that part.
Of detention. But then he didn't get drafted. What was the backup plan? I guess he became a realtor.
So basically, also, um, Ben played baseball and he didn't get drafted. And so now she's saying like a
And then
realtor.
moved out to Los Angeles to try and become famous there.
So Ben actually now tried to move out. So Ben's backup plan was to become famous if he didn't go pro for baseball. Now hear me out. Hear me out. I wanted to go pro at 1.2 in my sport and it didn't work out for me. And I also want to become famous. However, I don't know. I just think that this woman is just ratting this guy out. I think this woman wants clout. I'm sorry. I gotta defend Ben. I'm sorry. I think Andre wants clout. Andre wants clout because, I mean, everybody. Okay, so then let's also blame Virginia. Let's also blame Devin. Everyone on the show for clout. Let's also blame AD. Let's also blame Lauren. Like everybody who applied to be on Love Is Blind obviously came on the show for clout. So for you to be like, oh, I don't know. I think she's calling out Ben way too much. It's over exaggerating. Like, I don't think the stuff that Ben did was extremely bad, like a Trevor or like Jeremy or like the men from season 5, like Carter being homeless and having no job. Like,
On his parents' dime. But that didn't work out either.
I feel like that it is okay to wait, hold on, let me go back.
Then he didn't get drafted. What was the backup plan? I guess he became a realtor and then moved out to Los Angeles to try and become famous there on his parents' dime. But that didn't work out either, so he moved back. And
When she said on his parents' dime, a lot of people will stay with their parents for some time. I mean, let's not act like that's not normal. Like for me, I don't I honestly think that Ben genuinely did come on Love Is Blind to become famous, and Ben is trying so hard to get the good boy edit. He's trying so hard to look like that good couple, and I think Ben wants to have a deep D moment. Like Ben wants to have a moment where it's like a I choose myself moment. Ben wants the million followers. I'm sorry. I thought he would also get a million followers, but he didn't. Ben wants the clout. Ben, like when Ben saw like Ben wants to be like PPG or something. I don't know, but Ben wants the fame, and I don't think it's working out in his favor.
I guess he applied to Love Is Blind,
You know what? Ben is a really good actor.
trying again. But again, if you ask me, I would have never guessed that he was on that show to get married. And what happened? The second he got off the show, he went back to those bars, probably the college bars he hung around for way too long, and started telling people exactly what happened on the show. Now, this is
So guys, she's about to spoil the show now.
just what I was told by someone who claimed to run into him, but apparently he ends up getting engaged to one of the girls, right? And then he's back
Yeah, so one of the girls is Sarah.
in our hometown filming. And that's when everyone saw him filming, and all the girls in the city started coming forward with their horror stories about him. And thank goodness, as one of my original intentions was, that information got to her, and that made her hesitant. And from what I was told in his words, apparently he described her as being mean because of all of that. So his plan was to go all the way to the altar.
So basically, I think Ben is describing Sarah as being mean. So Ben, you don't really like Sarah? I guess Ben doesn't really like Sarah, y'all. Guys, Ben is playing this good boy actor act. Ben is pretending to act like a good actor, y'all. Ben is trying to be a good actor, y'all. I think Ben is just an actor. And honestly, I try to defend Ben, but this is kind of wild. So, like, you didn't have the right intentions to go on this show to actually find love.
And then say no to her in front of everyone. But unfortunately, the pastor guy asked her first, and she
So actually, so Ben wanted to say no at the altar first, but the pastor guy actually asked Sarah first on whether or not she wanted to get, on whether or not she takes basically the pastor asked Sarah first, and she said no, and I think, which I guessed right. So allegedly, the pastor asked Sarah, "Oh, like, when you're at the altar and you see Love is Blind, they ask either the woman or the guy first. They asked Sarah first, so I honestly think that Sarah is going to say no, and then it's going to basically end with like Ben and Sarah going their separate ways. But I believe that Ben wanted to really I think Ben wanted to say no first, and so I think he's probably going to be pissed that now he looks stupid. Like he didn't get to say anything. Like he just had to leave. So I think Ben was playing this act of like just being a good boy up all the way until the altar. I feel like that Ben is a good actor. Like Ben is playing the good boy act. He's a Nick. And I feel very bad for Sarah. I genuinely feel bad for Sarah.
said no. So now he's back in the city.
Wait.
Intentions was that information got to her, and that made her hesitant. And from what I was told in his words, apparently he described her as being mean because of all of that. So his plan was to go all the way to the altar and then say no to her in front of everyone. But unfortunately, the pastor guy asked her first, and she said no. So now he's back in the city, going around the bars, hitting on girls as always. And to all the women sharing all their stories about
So basically, he's now back in the bar single. So now Ben's single, and I think before the show even aired, he could not wait. He could not wait to get this. He could not wait to be aired. Let me go check Ben's actually Instagram page. Let's go see how many followers Ben has. So Ben has 17K followers. So his profile says washed up athlete. So Ben has 17K followers. I mean, that isn't really a lot, but it's only the second week of the season. We will see by next week how many followers he still has. He has 17K followers. So I mean, he got like a few followers, a few thousand followers, but that's really it. I mean, you could maybe go live. Like I don't know what brand deals you're gonna get with that. I don't know.
him and the other men on this season, I want to let you know that I see you and I hear you. Your stories are not mine to share, but I am so sorry that you had to go through any of this, and that Netflix thinks it's okay to keep platforming these men. Really difficult morning for the women here in Minneapolis as we had to wake up and see some of the worst men in our city have been cast on this season of Love is Blind.
Love it.
Rain, make it rain, girl, make it.
You again. Everybody.
Of it so he can go back to Minneapolis and continue to do whatever it is that she doesn't want to share with us that he's doing for legal reasons. I get you, Audra. I get it. However, if you or anybody else wants to share their stories, I'm your girl. Please email me at Jessica.
Yo, okay, y'all need to get Andra to come on Jesse Wu's podcast. Maybe Andra should speak on Jesse Wu's podcast and just tell on Ben. Like, I feel like that it would be very good if, and I really wanted to defend Ben. I really wanted to be on Ben's side, but I can't. Like, wow, like I'm kind of shocked, but I really just hope Andra really calls Ben out for his BS. Like, really.
Couple things pod at gmail.com. Okay? Come share
And she even sent the email, like, type in, like, wow.
your story. Come share your story. But from what she says is that basically Susan B. Anthony tells him no at the altar, but he was the one who wanted to say no to her at the altar, and it doesn't work out that way. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned and see what happens.
See, so I guess we're just gonna see, like what she said, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens, but I honestly think that like what Andre's saying actually does happen. And just wow, like so basically Ben did not come on the show for the right reasons. And I honestly now I'm kind of speculating on like how the reunion will look like. Will they call out Ben for not going on the show for the right reasons? Will they call out Ben for leading on Sarah? Like, it's this is like a good. I don't know. This is kind of like a good season. It's like an all right season for me. But this season is getting dramatic. This season is getting dramatic, like just by the brim. I don't know. This season is no longer boring that as much, but a lot of stuff is coming out about Ben. And I really thought Ben was not going to be a villain. Like, I'm really trying to defend Ben. Oh, like, I really wanted Ben to really just be a hero. And I may be okay, still single, but I feel bad for Ben, but I'm like, that was bad. But I do feel bad for Ben. I really do feel bad for Ben. And wow, but that was bad. That was really bad though.
But it basically looks like I don't want to call this man a predator because she's not saying anything, but it's clear he's not a good guy. Alex is definitely not a good guy.
So basically, Alex and Ben are the two biggest villains so far, and also Dave as well. No one's a good, like, no one's like nobody. No, I feel like that these guys purposely want to be villains though. Like, they want to be on the spotlight as a villain though. Like, that's what I'm seeing.
And they basically called Brittany gay. They called her a confused gay, basically.
All right. Honestly, to recap all of this, wow. I mean, this is already it's starting to get dramatic. I just want to see if Ben and Sarah are still on good. Actually, is Ben still following Sarah? Like, let's go seek that out. I just really want to see if like Ben and Sarah are good friends till this day. Who is this guy following? Oh, hold up. Y'all, Ben is not following Sarah. Oh, wait, no, Ben is following Sarah. I'm about to say. Okay. But is she following him back now? Oh, y'all. Oh, okay. I don't know. I really want to see at the reunion if Nick and Vanessa Lachey are going to call out Ben for not coming on the show for the right reason. So basically, Ben wanted to come on this show to build to basically have a career out of fame. Like, Ben came on the show to be famous. Ben came on Love is Blind to be famous. And so I don't know if Vanessa and Nick Lachey are going to call Ben out for it like they did with Trevor when they found that he had a whole girlfriend. I don't know if they're going to do that this season. I don't know if Ben is also going to come to the reunion. I also don't know if Sarah's going to come to the reunion. I don't know how juicy this reunion is going to be. And I thought that it was kind of early for Nick and Vanessa Lachey to kind of like do a reunion like this because it's like kind of like early in the season and a lot of stuff is coming out. Like just a lot of stuff is coming out. I also want to see the Reality Receipts podcast. But yeah, no, all this stuff is wild. I mean, Ben with the YouTube business cards, all this stuff, all this tea is just wild. I mean, I just don't know what the next episodes have to hold, but I feel like that Sarah is about irritated by Ben. Like, I feel like that it's about time that, but I'm like, I have a feeling that like Sarah and Ben still might be dating. I think that Sarah and Ben still might be dating, which I'm kind of scared for her because I'm just like, girl, you want to date a man where like he was accused for like not coming on the show for the right reasons. Just I don't know, like I don't know if Sarah sees all this coming out about Ben, him not being on the show for the right reasons. I would be very scared for Sarah if she was still with Ben. Like, if she was still with Ben, I'm gonna kind of be shocked about that because I'm just like, so you really like trust this guy? Like, for me, I don't know, like, you really actually like trust this guy? You really trust this guy's word? Like, for me, I'm just like, like, I don't know. I don't really, this guy is creepy. Like, this guy gives I don't know. Alex, though, Alex gives serial killer vibes. Alex gives just weirdo behavior. I mean, Alex and Ben are like the two top villains, along with Dave, which Dave, I want to talk about next. I want to like see what's up with him. I want to talk about Dave next. But yeah, no, Alex and Dave is really up there. Like Alex and Dave and Ben, it's not looking good. Like, it's genuinely not looking good. And I mean, I feel like that this cast, though, respectfully, at least the friendships are good with this season. But respectfully, like, I want to see what the next episodes, like, what drama the next episodes have. Like, what type of people fall out. Like, I want to see who falls out. But yeah, no, this is kind of shocking. I want to see if there was like anything else. Oh, hold on.
Find him to be quite annoying. Like, I can't stand his voice. I can't stand his mannerisms. I
I
can't
like his
stand nothing
voice.
about him. I
I
can't
like his
stand the fact that
mannerisms.
you only wash your hair once every 2 weeks. Like, sir,
I feel like washing your hair every once or 2 weeks is not that bad though. Like I don't think it's that bad. Like I think it's pretty good. Like washing your hair every 2 weeks, it's not a red flag to me.
that shit probably greasy AF. He's so fake to me. Every scene that I see him in, he just seems so disingenuous. It's so obvious he's faking for the cameras. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. You're the only girl I've ever imagined in a wedding dress, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so in this next drop, their big drama is the whole TikTok thing. By the way, Sarah's gasp to acting like she's seen that TikTok for the first time was so fake. She was like, like it was so fake. Anyway, we knew that was going to be on this season. If you guys don't know the TikTok that they're talking about, there's this girl. Her TikTok name is Andra. Like, she goes by.
Anyways, I feel like that like the drama between Sarah and Ben on the show is fake. But what Andra is saying, it's true. Like whatever Andra is saying to me, it's very true. I believe what she's saying. I believe Andra's word. So for me, like I'm taking Andra's word, but I don't know. I'm not really just buying like the whole like, oh, she was hurt by Ben because she only went on 2 dates with him. But yeah, Ben is a real villain. Anyways, I'm done with this live stream. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and also hit the notification bell. I will see you guys on my next video, whether or not I do another live stream or I record another video. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.